Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good day and welcome to the show. Glad to have you guys here on this Saturday, the 27th of June, 2020. Things will never be the same again for silver. If we get a silver shortage, a real silver shortage, and it's looking more like we're going to have one than that's ever looked before. Now, I'm not talking about a shortage in the coins. We've had that before where the mints they have to ration out the silver coinage because they're not producing them fast enough or whatever. We've had a few of those where there's a shortage in the mints. I'm talking about a shortage in what industry uses primarily and what they use to make the blanks for the mints. They're what they are is 1,000-ounce bars. This is the primary supply. When it comes from the mines, that's what they smelt it into, 1,000-ounce bars. And that's what they use to supply. Even the blanks for the mints are made from these 1,000-ounce bars. If they're going to use things for industry, they smelt out these 1,000-ounce bars. There's never been a shortage of these 1,000-ounce bars. But if we get a shortage of 1,000-ounce bars in silver, it's never going to be the same again. And now I'm going to open up the charts right. Let me get the charts. Okay, a second. Okay, let's open up the charts right here and take a look. Now, silver miners, they've been hit the hardest by the lockdowns. It says that since mid-March, the response of governments worldwide to the COVID-19 pandemic has led to a disruption in mining activities across the globe. Of course, we know Mexico is the biggest silver producer of all. It says a total of 32 countries have passed partial or complete lockdown orders, leading to the temporary suspension of activities of over 1,600 mines have been closed up with this lockdown order as of April 3rd. Though that number has since dropped down to 729 as restrictions begin to ease in certain areas. The exempted mines are, however, still operating with reduced number of workers. You can imagine the workers would have to all stay 8 or 10 feet apart from each other. This is difficult in a workplace situation, you know. The exempted mines are, however, still operating with reduced number of workers to minimize the potential spread of the virus, which is causing a slow return for an industry that has already seen productions hit by restrictions. Amongst the mining activities affected by COVID-19, silver production has been the biggest victim, with nearly 66% of the world's annual output still on hold. So all of a sudden, we're losing 2/3 of the world's silver production, basically. Now, this hasn't hit the fan yet. What happens is with anything like this, there's a trickle-down effect. It's almost like, if you guys worked on a grain silo or something, and there's these big conveyor belts and stuff, and the grain comes out of the silo through an auger, and goes onto the conveyor belt and comes down the conveyor belt and goes inside the building where they're going to, say, grind the grain, up. Well, if all of a sudden the auger stops, the grain keeps coming down the conveyor belts into the building for about 5 minutes. There's a lag there. Well, it's a filter down effect where it keeps running for a little while, even after there's a stoppage. Well, we've just had this enormous stoppage of silver production right now, but the silver's continuing to keep coming, and the reason why it's still coming is that lag effect, like the sort of thing where it just keeps trickling down until all of a sudden it stops, dries right up. We've got a dry up period here where the mines are not producing silver. On the other side of this coin, we've got tremendous demand for silver out there right now. And that's why the price has been going up. That's why you see all of these premiums and everything else. I see a time coming where we could actually have a shortage in the 1,000-ounce bars. And this is going to lead to panic among industry. They cannot make a cell phone without silver. They can't. They can't. Apple, iPhones, all these different products that are made in electronics, they can't produce them without silver. Now, what if we get a silver shortage in the 1,000-ounce bars? Everybody and their dog's going to want silver. They're going to want to buy it. Especially when they see the price going up. This is human nature. When something's on a roll, the price is shooting heavenwards, everybody wants it. When the price is going down on something and the price is suppressed, nobody wants it. There's all kinds of it. You can buy it. It's out there. That's the way it's been for silver over these last few years. It could all end and end suddenly. Let me take a look here. Let's take a look at this. Latin America, Mexico Project Roundup. Now, Mexico's the biggest silver producer in the world. It says, while exploration and mining in Mexico have been hampered by suspensions and slowdowns of operations due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the country will get through this challenge and gradually resume normal operations. What they're basically telling you there is they're not resuming normal operations right now. The biggest country in the world that produces silver right now is trying to get through this challenge. And here we're having these first waves of the virus. We're having the second waves of the virus. It looks like they're going to have to start actually in some places closing things back up. This creates panic in the financial institutions out there. And the first thing everybody starts thinking is, okay, I'm going to hedge against what might be a meltdown of the world's financial system by going into silver and gold. One of the things people do not realize is there is more gold out there. I know gold's really precious. It's 100 times more precious than silver. But there's more gold out there than there is silver. If you're talking physical. There's more physical gold out there than there is silver, even though it's worth a lot more. It's worth 100 times more. There's more of it available. Isn't it, in a normal world, when you got something where there's more of it available, shouldn't the price be less? Rather than more? Rather than 100 times more? Considering all the things that they use silver for, that they can't produce a phone without silver. Yes, they could use gold, but silver is more even if the silver price were to rise 50 times higher, it would still be more cost effective than gold to use silver. And there's nothing else they can use except silver or gold to make these electronic components. You know, a lot of the earlier computers and stuff used to have gold in them on the circuit boards and stuff. Anyway, let's take a look at this. Silver mine production. Right here, we're seeing the top countries in silver mine production. And we see Mexico tops the list at getting up near 200. Well, they were up near 200 million ounces a year. Not anymore. Peru is second. It's about 2/3 of what, or 3/4, about 3/4 of what Mexico produces. Then we have China. And you know China, if they produce an ounce of silver, it stays in China. Same thing with gold. They produce an ounce of gold, it stays in China. And it's been that way for a long time. So none of that escapes. Russia produces is the next, and then all the others are in line. They're just about the same as what Russia is, including the United States. And Argentina comes in last. Poland's got a few big mines. Anyway, but they all produce roughly around 35 or 40 million ounces a year, all of these countries, Russia, China, Bolivia, Poland, Australia, United States, and Argentina. Okay? China is the only one that produces in excess of 100 million ounces a year, and it all stays in China. Pretty much all stays in China. How the C factor could decimate 2020 global gold and silver production. See, it says here that the list could be much longer, but you get the idea. Miners and explorers around the world are being told to stop production, move to care and maintenance, or disperse their workforces, all due to the C factor. You know what the C stands for? Corona. The corona factor, which of course refers to the rapidly spreading global pandemic known as the novel coronavirus, or COVID-19. Being it's a new strain that has not been previously identified in humans, earns the virus the moniker of novel. New. Novel means new. Enough is still unknown about how it spreads and what it takes to halt the contagion. Even the experts still search for answers. You know, one of the things we don't know about this whole thing, this whole virus thing is a year from now, 2 years from now, the people who have had it and got over it, or say they've got over it, in other words, they feel a little bit better, what other health effects might it actually cause in the long run, We don't know any of these things yet. We don't know. Maybe it'll cause chronic fatigue or fibromyalgia I heard a report yesterday that says it could cause cognitive dysfunction. In other words, your brain might not work right. Seriously, we're moving into a different world because of this. This is the biggest thing that's happened in the world going back to the Great Wars, that we had in the 20th century. Maybe even this is perhaps even more psychologically damaging to the population, And so we got this we're working through, but at the same time, we've got silver that's being controlled by the physical price is being controlled by the paper price. In other words, the tail is wagging the dog. And it's been that way for quite a while, but when it breaks free from that, it's going to break free from that suddenly. And what can really break it free from that is an actual physical shortage. It says here, beneath the surface, recent massive demands by the public for physical silver and gold make it apparent that the quoted paper metals price bears little reality to what a person pays if they can find the hold-in-your-hand product at all. An example through the COMEX shows roughly $14 an ounce paper silver price. And they say the 1,000-ounce bar is going to 30 through 80% over spot. In other words, this supposed $14 silver could cost you upwards of $20 an ounce. And it says at some dealers you should expect to pay as much as $2,000 or more for that $1,650 1-ounce gold piece. Okay. This is actually old news right here. We've seen these premiums. The premiums are still in effect. But the premiums and the spot price are two different things. And what could actually happen in the very near future if we actually have a physical silver shortage? We could see the spot price and the premium price match each other again, except the spot price go up. Unbelievable how high it could go. We could be looking at $3, $4 jumps in price per day, easily, and we could have periods where you get 2 whole weeks of the price jumping $3, $4 a day if we get a shortage in silver. The price could run up so high, ultimately, that, what was this article I had here? The price could actually run up so high that it's never the same again. You never see silver go back down, even after it's over, even after the shortage ends. And how the shortage would ultimately end in the end is the price will get up to a price point where the silver that's in storage that people own, holdings, like JP Morgan's got huge holdings, but a lot of private people have holdings too, and they're holding it. They're not going to sell at these prices we're at right now. Heck, a lot of them bought in at higher prices than it's at right now. But they will sell when it gets high enough. And then we'll see the shortage end when they sell back into the market. And by that time, the price goes way up high. What you'll see is these silver miners out there will start working again. They'll start working really hard. They'll start digging up new trenches into the ground. You'll see the machinery going. When the price gets up to a certain price point, then you'll see silver come back into the market, and you'll see the silver price decline. But it'll never be the same, because it'll never go back to sub $20 silver. We'll never see it again. Well, if we get a silver shortage, we'll never see sub $20 silver again. In fact, we might even never see sub $30 silver ever again. You know, and you guys have got your choice where you want to put your money right now. You know what kind of investments you want to make. You want money market funds, mutual funds, all these different things. They're all connected to the dollar, and if things get really hairy out there, you might have to kiss all that money goodbye you have invested in some of these things. You know, that are connected to the dollar, because the system might melt up and then melt down and leave everybody hanging. But that's not going to happen. If you even got one silver or gold coin in your hand with your tight little fist closed around it, then if the entire system melts down and all your other investments are gone, you can still open up your fist and you can look at that piece of silver in your hand, and that is something that you actually have. That might be all you escape with. If you're lucky to escape with that in your life, you know, I mean, the kind of situation that's happening right now in the world. But you know, an awful lot of people haven't considered that it could get that bad, you know, out there. This is a very trying time that we're going through for the entire world right now, with this crazy disease that comes from who knows where. I mean, I'm not going to try to put a finger on where it comes. I have my own ideas, by the way, of where I think this thing come from and who and where what happened, you know. But I'm not going to express them on here, because there's things going on behind the scenes. It's almost like what's going on behind the scenes right now in the world. Right, it's very cloak and dagger. It's like. What can I say? It's almost like you don't know who your friends are and you don't know who your enemies are right now. It's a very strange situation going on right now. And anyway, listen, I'm kind of rambling on a little bit. Watch silver. It is the Achilles heel of the world's financial system, because they can mess with the price all they want. On a daily basis right now, they've been selling the entire world's year supply of silver in one day lately in the paper markets. And they can mess with the price all they want, but ultimately the real bottom line is how much of the real physical resource is actually out there available for sale. Now that's the key word, is available for sale. Doesn't matter how much silver inventories there are in the world. J.P. Morgan might have 1 billion ounces, and maybe he's only got 100 million, or maybe he hasn't got it near as much as people think he's got. That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how many monster boxes are out there and stored in somebody's vault. Doesn't matter. It's not for sale. What matters is how much do they actually have in the inventories that are available for sale. Thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. And we'll catch you guys in the next show. Bye-bye.